Welcome to the Town Board Workshop Meeting, Thursday, June 2nd. Please rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Emergency exits are to my right, behind the town attorney, and also the door you came in. Roll, please.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Here.
Councilwoman Doyle.
Here.
Supervisor Brody.
Here.
Let it be noted that Councilwoman Hitzelberger left me a message that she is running late, and no word from Councilman Delango.
Okay, is there any public comment? No. Okay, then we'll move on to the supervisor's report. Ambulance Services. The Ambulance Services Committee met on May 31st at 6:30 with John Mahoney, Emergency Service Coordinator, and attendance. Discussion focused on what items to include in the request for proposal. Draft notes are being circulated to committee members, and additional information will be added so that they can be presented to the town board for the June 16th meeting. Today, I received a telephone message from Senator Sue Serino informing me that she procured a $50,000 state and municipal facilities capital program, otherwise known as SAM, for the town of Amenia. There is a list of projects eligible for funding, which I've given to the board members. However, it cannot be used for a project that has already been started. We thank Senator Serino for her efforts to assist the town of Amenia with this funding. We have an intermunicipal agreement with the town of Northeast signed in 2013, which will allow them to use the town hall during a disaster or emergency situation to run town business for the town of Northeast. In addition, the contract signed with Weebatuck School gives them the use of a room complete with Wi-Fi if they should need to use it, if the power is out for any other reason. Both of these places, the municipality and Weebatuck School, would make the shared services application to get funds for the kitchen and generator very strong. Okay, on June 4th, this Saturday, will be a parade and community day in Wassaic with a cake walk, band, and multiple events. Proceeds go to a scholarship fund. On June 11th, the Amenia Library Book and Bake Sale will be held. In addition to the Harlem Valley Chamber of Commerce, we'll be doing strawberry sundaes. There will be strawberries for sale. The Indian Rock Schoolhouse will be selling raffle tickets. The Amenia Fire Company will be selling hot dogs, water, 50-50, and give free blood pressure screening. Big thank you to Delango Automotive for lending their business space. Also, Congregation Beth David will be selling raffle tickets, offering refreshments, and we'll have a rendering of the updates to their historic building. This is turned into a street fair in Amenia. Please come out on June 4th and June 11th to support these organizations and businesses. Town Clerk report.
Good evening. The monthly share has been remitted to the supervisor in the amount of $889.75. Taxes through the end of May 31st collected in the amount of $4,812,552.51. We did collect this year in penalties to date $9,058.90, with a total uncollected taxes of $566,218.66. Anything that comes in that was postmarked prior to May 31st will be accepted here at the town hall, and that will leave the community with 132 parcels that were not collected on. Circulated to the town board were the minutes of April and May. Currently, the town clerk's office is circulating bids for the sidewalk project. Those bids are due in the office on June 9th. I'd like to remind all residents that one is to license their dog each year. When you apply for your license, it's not the lifetime of the dog, it is each year that you need to renew your dog license. If you've not done so, please stop by the town clerk's office. Nancy did send out 36 notices this past week. If it does help, the Upstate Spay and Neuter Services is having another spay and neuter clinic here at Freshtown Plaza on June 28th from 7:30 to 5. So if that's why you're waiting before you pay and license your dog, please do that. Also, I've been contacted by the New York Blood Drive. We've already scheduled to have a blood drive here at the Town Hall on June 22nd, running from 2 p.m. to 8, but there is a shortage and they are asking everybody to participate. If you have any questions, to find out if you're eligible, you can call 1-800-688-0900 or call the town clerk's office for more information. Thank you.
You're done? Okay. Grant Administrator report. Do you have copies? I have them here if you need them.
Yeah, oh, I did.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want them? Or-
Yes. Okay.
That's fine. No, I just didn't know if you had time to read them. There's just the three of you. Thanks, Mike. Sure. Can you take one, please? And it's okay.
Hi, everyone. It is an exciting time with all the grants on the horizon and the ones that seem to be coming to fruition. I did update this grant report showing our ongoing grants, the pending grant applications, and some future grants. I attended a couple of workshops, one in New Windsor regarding infrastructure investment. Congressman Maloney was there and spoke. Megan Taylor of the Empire State Development Corporation was there talking about the grants that are available from the state to help with infrastructure projects. One thing that did come out of that I thought was interesting is that the new priority this year for the consolidated funding application is downtown revitalization. That is, a major focus of the state this year. So I did go to another workshop in Middletown on the consolidated funding application. Went to a workshop on the Main Street grant, on NISCA grants, New York State Council on the Arts. So, there's a lot of interesting grants, the Empire State Development Corporation. Most of the grants that the state gives out actually go to private businesses, which I thought was interesting, through Empire State Development, through various arrangements that they make, business deals that they make to attract businesses here. But I did think that the theme of downtown revitalization seemed to be a major theme. I did sit in on the Main Street workshop just to get more familiar with the program and just to be reminded of what the parameters are. It's 50,000 to 500,000 maximum, 50,000 per, building renovations up to 50,000 per building, with 25,000 additional grant possibility if they renovate a residential unit. So the actual maximum per building renovation, if there's like a commercial component and a residential component, would be 100,000 per building, the maximum. And there's also a streetscape opportunity that would be, a project that is ancillary to the overall Main Street grant, which would be, focused on downtown revitalization and building renovations. I did prepare, a draft letter, which you can look at. I'll send to the whole board too. It was based on the letter that we did last time, trying to gauge interest from landowners when we actually had the grant, because there were some strict guidelines that were established then, or not strict, I mean just the town had in mind some good ideas of focusing on mixed developments in the downtown target area of East Main Street, focusing on, improving existing housing stock, focusing on businesses and storefronts. So, I could tailor that letter more towards businesses and make it also so it could be a survey for Wassaic. I did send you a draft of that. I'll fine tune that. I hope you got a copy of that resolution too that I was hoping that you would pass, because the consolidated funding application for Dutchess County, the municipal municipal consolidation and shared services grant, which we thought we might apply for a grant for the community kitchen, looking at it as a regional delivery of services.
Yeah, and we're going
to
to use the intermunicipal agreement we have with Town and Northeast. And also, we can use the contract we have with Weebatuck School, you know, for them to use the room downstairs. I spoke with Weebatuck School, and they said they would be very supportive. So I'd like you to ask them for a letter of support, because they said they would support us in our grant application.
Well, that's exciting. I'm glad to hear that. I told the county about some of the collaboration that's going on, and they did seem like she was excited to hear about it. And she definitely said include whatever you think is reasonable to, so if you wanted to include the cost of the generator, that could definitely be included. It would not be held against us. We can ask for up to, matter of fact, I don't think there is a limit. You could actually ask up to $1 million, but realistically, there's not that much funding, so I thought we would apply for what we need, and which is $190,000, and that grant is due June 17th. Mm-hmm. And I think we have a pretty good chance, as good as anyone. You can definitely apply. There was a question too at the last meeting. You can apply for more than one grant, but you have to prioritize. If you were to do that, say number one project might be the kitchen, and number two might be a study, or there is a possibility with that. That is the municipal consolidated grant, but there's also the tax relief grant, which last week you passed a resolution supporting a project for the boilers.
So we could do this one, and then also do the feasibility study that you were.
Well,
or do you want to wait on that?
Emergency services meeting on the 31st, it sounded like the Amenia Fire Company was going to take the lead in finding out what could be done for 2018 through, onward. So I don't want to step on their toes. They have more of the information and the legal resources and such, and understand where our strengths and our weaknesses are more than we do. So if they can pursue it without needing any funding, I think that we have time, and they have the time and the expertise. So that's my thought at this time, is that isn't needed.
Right. Might be
If
good to
they're
focus. It
gonna
is a little bit more complicated than I thought. I looked at the application. I do have to document savings, so I'm trying to think how I'm going to do that. But I think it is at least the savings of another town, or say Weebatuck, not having to do this investment themselves. You're sort of consolidating operations.
Yeah, they're looking for ways to get a generator. I mean, they don't have one up there, but at least they already have the room available to them downstairs. I mean, if their administrative staff needed to be able to use it and use, they have their own Wi-Fi down there too, in an emergency. I mean, it's available to them.
I think getting those letters is key too. We can attach that, getting your resolution that's also required.
Yeah, I have a copy of the municipal agreement in your mailbox to use with the grant, to show that we already have a municipal agreement with Town and Northeast, and that they would run their government from here if the need arose.
Well, that's really good news. Well, really, the founding of this building was founded on that collaborative effort too, so it's a building upon that, or this town hall. Well, good. I guess you have the resolution. If you have any questions, I tried to fill you in on, the grants. We could reapply for a parks grant for the Wassaic Trail to the train. We could do the Main Street grant, but I really wanted to focus on the county grants, since the deadlines are coming up, the one in June 17th. And then
Yeah, we have some time for the CFA.
Right.
That's what, July or
It's
August?
due July 29th.
29th, yeah, so we have some time. Yeah, before you came in, I had announced Senator Serino called today, and she has recommended that we get $50,000 of, it's called SAM funding. It's a municipal capital program and she gave us the projects that are eligible for funding. She said it wouldn't be anything that we've already started, but, you know, if we have a project in mind for next year, that, you know, we could go ahead and apply for this.
I wonder if they might be interested in the Fountain Square project, or there's some, you know, let me look at it and give it some
Well, we
thought.
have a lot, yeah, one of the things that, I mean, the items is infrastructure. One of the things we know we have a problem with here are our windows. You know, they're hardly adequate. If you're going to be putting in a new heating system, you know, maybe we could, you know, apply, you know, to have some of the windows replaced, at least downstairs where the offices are, because they're all single pane, they're, you know, they're kind of piecemeal. And, you know, they're certainly not done, they don't really seal well. So, you know, that's something we could look into, but, you know, as a board, we'll be looking at the projects eligible for funding, you know, and make a decision about exactly what we want to apply for this $50,000. It takes a while, and it's also through the Dormitory Authority,
Oh, okay.
and we already have, and, you know, it's a complicated process, getting, you know, applying for this and getting the money, but the first step we need to take is to decide, you know, prioritize, you know, a project for next year.
Does it talk about priorities of what they're looking for?
It talks about projects eligible for funding, what's ineligible for funding, like any technology is ineligible, infrastructure is eligible, major repair renovation of a fixed asset, well, this building's a fixed asset, and you know, planning, design of the acquisition, construction, demolition, or replacement, major repair renovation of a fixed asset. So a lot of it is, you know, is structure. So we, you know, we need to really take a good hard look and see what would make the most sense for us to apply for this money. Since, and, you know, and we're just very thankful for Senator Serino looking out for us and for the towns in her district for monies to help us.
That's exciting. Thank you.
Resolution number?
29.
Resolution authorizing a grant application to the Dutchess County Municipal Consolidated and Shared Services Grant Program for a regional community kitchen and emergency shelter operation at Town Hall. Project Town of Amenia Regional Community Kitchen. The Town of Amenia is seeking a $190,000 grant from the Dutchess County Municipal Consolidated and Shared Services Grant Program to develop a new opportunity for regional delivery of services by creating a community kitchen and installing a generator at Amenia Town Hall. Whereas grant funding is needed to install the generator, complete renovations, obtain approval, and purchase kitchen equipment needed to operate a regional kitchen to serve as a regional emergency shelter capable of providing hot meals needed for displaced individuals and families during times of emergencies and natural disasters. Whereas the grant application must be filed by June 17th, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Amenia hereby authorizes preparation of a grant application to the Dutchess County Municipal Consolidated and Shared Services Grant in the amount of $190,000. Can I make that motion?
Second.
Councilman Delango and Councilman Hitzelberger are noted as absent. Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes. Yeah, I have the monthly building report. Cleans Fine May's monthly report for the building department as building permits go. We have issued 16 new building permits totaling $23,910.92. We are continuing with certificate of occupancy searches. This month we did 13 searches with totals of $2,250. As far as fire inspections go, we did one inspection that totaled $75 and one renewal of $175, along with one blasting permit of $200. The total for the month is $26,610.92. I also want to mention that we were pleasantly surprised with the mortgage tax receipts that we just received. Usually you know, they're a few $1,000s. Well, this month they were over $100,000 due to a mortgage filed from the Silo Ridge project, which is certainly going to help our revenue. Okay, committee reports. We have a certificate from the Highway Department to close the highway, the portion of Main Street across from the Lantern Inn in Wassaic. Reason for the road closure is Wassaic Community Day, June 4th, 2016, from 5 p.m. to midnight. And the Wassaic project has worked with our highway department and SAN, and will be getting their road closed signs and placing them properly.
For the Enhancement Committee, I would just like to thank all of the volunteers who came out on Planting Day, which was last Saturday. And we had a lot of volunteers show up, which was very wonderful. It was extremely hot, if you remember. And really extra appreciation this year, because the 2 hours we were all about ready to die. But people hung in there. They planted all the planters. Memorial Day, Fountain Square looked fabulous for our ceremony. The veterans are very appreciative of all the effort to make the place look so good. The fountain was operating and everything looked good. Marilyn Noe from the Enhancement Group, Kevin and Gretchen, Kevin Cassone and Gretchen Hitzelberger worked very, very hard, obtained all the plants, and they made sure that all the plants got into the ground, and it was a huge effort. $800 worth of planting beds were placed in that 2-hour time frame. Not an easy job. They had to come back and do more, of course. We had Girl Scout Troop 10169, Trisha Laundry, Chloe Larrabee, Arden Laundry, Emily Pavermo, Connie Larrabee, I'm massacring these names, Anne Pavermo, and thanks to Herb Eschbach, who always helps and will finish doing some plantings from Fountain Square to Delango Automotive, and we had plants donated from Carol Lee. Thank you very much for that. And it was just a big group effort and very, very nice. Thank you, Victoria, for giving the keynote speech, and the members of Post 5444 of VFW and Dover Plains. They had a great lunch afterwards, and they did a great job providing all the basics to the ceremony, and Father Wilson for giving his opening prayer. I'm sure I missed somebody. Oh, of course, we had Cassandra Whitehead singing the national anthem, which was a big reward to everybody who took the half an hour out of their day to come and take part in the ceremony. Thanks to everybody. And of course, Dawn Marie for putting together all the little bits and pieces that I couldn't get to. Thank you very much.
Okay, are there any other committee reports? Okay, the RFP for Old Dominion landfill post-closure monitoring. I gave you a letter from Westervelt and Kimberly Ray, about the timeline for getting the RFP out. On June 16th, we're going to authorize issuance of the RFP once it's completed. It's in draft form right now. The other thing that's been done with Old Amenia landfill, the draft environmental easement has been approved by the DEC, and Kimberly Ray will be filing it with the county. There's also some other paperwork that I have to sign off on. We're still waiting for the final closure documents from the DEC and the Department of Health. There isn't anything wrong. It just that the wheels take a long time turning up there. So we're just waiting for the final with that. And resolution awarding heating system and electrical bid. Pete?
Good evening, everybody. On May 23rd, we took in bids for the rebid of the project. I did submit a letter dated June the 1st, which summarizes those. So we took in the bids. We were able to get information out to the low bidders, and they got qualification information back to us in a very timely, fashion. We're able to go through that information. I included with my letter some of the more pertinent information that we got from both of the low bidders, one for the HVAC construction, the other for the electrical portion of the job. So we were able to check, their qualification information. We called many of the references. Any of the references that we talked to had nothing but positive things, to say. After we issued this letter, we got a call back today from a third reference on the heating contractor, and again, they said they've used them on many projects and they would use them again. So based upon that information and our research and talking to them, we don't see any problem with either one of the low bidders. We think that they're a responsible bidder, and that the town board should move ahead with these. As I had said in here, a couple things. One was, if you notice on the HVAC construction, we had a base bid and we had an alternate bid. Based upon the bids that we got before for the pellet boiler, it seemed like the base bid, which we had for radiant panel, heating, that it seemed to be a little pricey. So as we had discussed the last time that we were here, we said, look, let's do an alternate bid and see what the price would be for, fin tube. Now, fin tube baseboard is more what you would see in like a residential house. It's a little cheaper. It's usually not anywhere near as good, as radiant-like panel. It doesn't, look nice. We were surprised when we got, the bids in that there really didn't appear to be, as you can see from the alternate prices, there's really not any kind of substantial, savings. We're not exactly sure why, but we don't have the opportunity to negotiate with any of the bidders until the project is awarded. So what my letter said is, based upon the bids that we received, that the town board should go ahead and award the base bid, which includes the radiant panel baseboards, which are the better, baseboards. And then also we had a question on the electrical bid. As you can see from the other three bids, they varied, substantially, and we wanted to make sure from the low bidder that they were comfortable with their number. We talked to them. They said they were more than comfortable. I believe that they were here during the bid opening, so they knew what everybody else bid, and they said they're very, very comfortable with their price and they have no issue with it. Based upon that, we don't see any problem with either one of the low bidders. The low bidder for HVAC construction was Southeast Mechanical out of Brewster, and the low bidder for the contract B electrical was Stilsing Electric out of Rensselaer. So assuming the town board moves ahead with these, what we would do is we would issue a notice of award, ask for their bonds, insurance, and all that, and then once we have all that, we're satisfied with it, the town attorney, is satisfied with it, then we'd have the supervisor countersign the contracts, and then we'd issue a notice to proceed. Now, the bid, expressly, and it said, look, this job has got to be done by November 1st, no ifs, ands, or buts. And from talking to, the low bidder, they said they don't see any problem at all, with meeting that. So that's expressly in there. It's also in, the contract that they will sign, that the job has to be done no later than November 1st. That was that. I would like to just give an update as far as the asbestos, but I guess before I do that, I'd be glad to answer any questions anybody has as far as the bids for HVAC and electrical.
Pete, any idea why all the alternates came in higher?
That's very, very weird. I don't, well, actually, I think one was lower. If you look at, like LJ, Capola, they were about, $8,000 lower. So that was one of the things that we were gonna, talk to them about. As I had said in there, we can't like negotiate with anybody until the bid's like awarded, but there's always usually some value engineering, like items that we can talk to the contractor to say, hey, look, we'd like to try to save a few more like bucks. Is there anything that, you saw there that we may be able to do a little bit like differently? And again, as I said in here, nothing that would compromise the job, compromise the like intent of the job. But many times the contractor will say, hey, look, if you did this one part a little bit like differently, we could save $5,000 or $10,000 here, maybe a little bit over here. So we always, ask that to see if there's ways we could save a little bit more money. And as I said in there, if there are things we could save money on, we would advise the town board first. We don't make that decision. We basically say, hey, look, we talked to the contractors. There's some value engineering here. We could save you, I'm just picking a number, $20,000 if we do this versus this, and we think it's a good thing. It won't compromise the job. And then if the town board agrees, then we just basically do like a change order as we're into the job. That would be like a credit back to the town. So we always go back to them, to see is there some other things where we could save a few bucks. So that could be one of the things that we talk to them about. If there's really not that much of a difference between radiant panel and the fin tubes, if we were going to save $50,000, then I think it's something that we should talk about. If we're going to save $5,000 or $10,000, the radiant panels are much higher quality, and they're really more applicable for like a commercial application. So,
Pete, I just wanted to ask you, so if you were to have something for the value engineering, a different brand of whatever to save money, do you do that in a written change order?
oh yeah, 100%. Everything is documented. We don't do anything without paperwork that's signed and sealed. No, we've been doing this a long time. Everything's got to be documented properly. So.
I was just trying to go over the whole cost of the installation. Excuse me. So if we accept the low bid of $878 for the installation of
Yep.
the heating system, don't worry about it, and $41,000 for the electrical in round numbers.
Yep.
And then $3,580 to oversee the asbestos removal. Are we getting closer to that 1.1 that we offered?
We had, okay, that's, I'm
We're
glad.
under it.
I'm glad that you asked that.
Well, I got 922, so.
Okay, well, it's actually,
Am I missing something?
if you use, and I have it right here, and the supervisor and I talked about it yesterday or the day before. If you use, again, just use, round numbers.
Round numbers, right.
$880 for the heating, $880,000, $40,000 for the electrical, $25,000 for the asbestos. Now, the 25 in the asbestos is the $17,000 that we awarded the bid. If you go ahead and do the $3,500 tonight for the air monitor,
Right.
but if we just use the 25, which we had originally budgeted, okay?
Right.
That leaves $945. That leaves about $166,000 left
the
in your
generator.
bond. And I think
Sorry, how much?
166,000.
Okay, so we still have enough for the generator. Okay, all right.
So-
We're still under that.
We're still under, right?
Okay.
But the air monitoring, it's an estimate. It looks like that's time they're going
he's-
to charge depending upon how much.
Based upon what I've been working with him on, he's not gonna go over that.
But they can.
It
under
did
the
say
contract.
it was an estimate.
Yeah.
Well, a few dollars, it's not going to be thousands.
Yeah, no, he's very, very reasonable. I've been working with him on this job. This is the same fellow who did the, original, report to identify
Yeah, gave us
asbestos.
the original report.
And I didn't hire him, but I had recommended the town of Hyde Park hire him for asbestos project that we're doing there also, and his fees are very, very, reasonable. So, I will check that, Denise, but I don't foresee, in working with him, I think it's going to be right around that number.
Okay.
He's-
'Cause I mean, I looked at the contract today
Okay.
on it. It's
Yeah,
a tough contract.
gotcha. So if there's no more questions, I'll give you a quick update on asbestos. I'm not going to get into all the details. It's been a little, challenging, but I think that we're there. We had to submit a variance. I didn't submit it. We had, the air monitor submit a variance to the New York State Department of Labor. To make a long story short, we've got about, the town has about 800 lineal feet of tunnels. And our project is only going to be working in approximately 150 lineal feet of tunnel. And that's what we put into the asbestos bid that we put out, that we're working within 150 feet of tunnel. So any asbestos debris within that 150 feet of tunnel has to be cleaned up. Well, there was a little quirk in the New York State Department of Labor, requirements, that when we brought the air monitor on, he first thought that we were going to have to clean every bit of 800 lineal feet of tunnel. So I said, all right, I mean, that's not my area of expertise. We got an approximate price from the asbestos contractor. I am not going to tell you what that price is because I almost fell off my chair. So I called the New York State Department of Labor myself and basically begged and pleaded and groveled and whatever you want to call it, and just said, look, we can't afford to do this. We don't have the money to do this, blah, 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 blah. So we agreed, and I asked them to, can we, at the end of our 150 feet, can we put up a little plywood wall? These tunnels are basically 4 feet by 4 feet. Can we put up a wall, and we'll caulk it, and we'll seal it, and then we don't have to clean any more of the tunnel. And the air monitor was actually shocked that we got them to agree to that, but they did. And
they're going to come and do inspections, though, to make sure it stays
the
sealed.
air monitor is going, yes.
Yes.
So in fact, we got
That was part of the deal, that they can come and inspect and make sure that the
wall
is still in place.
is still up, right. So in fact, we got the variance today, approving that. So I have been coordinating with the asbestos contractor and the air monitor, and the asbestos contractor was a little sloppy on his paperwork, but I got that all straightened out now. So Monday, I'm going to have new contracts because they were not notarized. I've got insurance. He sent me PDF copies of all his bonds. I said I need originals. So I'm supposed to get a FedEx package of all that Monday. So I will get the supervisor after that to sign his contract. So the schedule is for that work. They are looking at the 16th, I think it's a Friday. They have to do, they want to do it on a Friday and a Saturday. I know the
It
town
would be
hall.
the 17th,
Is that the Friday?
June 17th?
Is that Friday?
Yes, that's a Friday.
Okay, so it'll be Friday the 17th and Saturday the 18th.
Okay, so that's when they're going to do,
Yes, it'll be like a 2-day thing. And there has to be a 10-day notification that the contractor provides to the State Department of Labor, which is going to do next week. The town will get a copy of that. We'll coordinate with the town. So it looks like we're underway. We're squared away. And that part of it was interesting. So I think we're all on track now, and we're moving ahead. So there is a proposal for the air monitor. I don't know if you all have copies. I brought.
yes, they do.
Again, and the unfortunate thing is, I couldn't get a proposal from him until he knew that we were going to get the variance approved, because the variance says this is exactly what you have to do. So once he got that, he was able to put together a proposal, quickly. And I'm sorry that it's a last-minute thing, but that's just the way things are happening at the moment. So, but I think we're I think that we're good. I think we're on, track now, and I want to get this thing done.
So I had a question. For the variance, there's a condition, is that for an ongoing inspection
Quarterly, I think.
Yeah, quarterly.
forever?
That's something that came at the last minute, and I told the air monitor, don't argue with him, because we can't, the town wouldn't want to pay what it would cost to clean every bit of those tunnels, so.
I mean, is it,
I
would
think
they
it-
accept the building inspector?
Well, that's where I'm gonna go. I wanted to get the variance because I want to get this thing, moving. There's no reason why.
Well, you're working with the building inspector anyway.
Yes,
on
I have
all
to
of
call
this.
him, tomorrow. But there's, to me, there isn't any reason why the building inspector can't quarterly, or anybody, take a picture. Here's our tunnel. Here's the date stamp on the picture. It's still there. So, but from what I understand, we were very lucky to get them to agree to be able to put up this wall, because it made absolutely no sense to me, if you're only working in 150 feet of tunnel, why you'd have to clean 800 feet of tunnel. But be that as it
So are you ready to
may.
do the resolution now, so we can, resolution number
30.
30? Resolution accepting bid of and awarding contract for Town of Amenia Town Hall Heating System Replacement Project, Contract A, HVAC, to Southeast Mechanical Corporation, the lowest responsible bidder. Whereas the Town of Amenia caused a legal notice entitled Notice to Contractors Soliciting Bids for the Town of Amenia Town Hall Heating System Replacement Project, Contract A, HVAC, to be published in the Millerton News, the town's official newspaper, on May 5, 2016, in the Poughkeepsie Journal on April 29, 2016, on the Empire BidNet website on April 28, 2016, in the form annexed hereto as Exhibit A, whereas the town further caused a copy of said legal notice to be posted on the town's official town clerk bulletin board located in the Town of Amenia Town Hall, 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York, on April 26, 2016, whereas sealed bids were submitted in response to said legal notice for the heating system HVAC project were opened at the Amenia Town Hall on May 23, 2016, in the presence of Deputy Town Clerk Nancy Luther, Robert Travis of Morris Associates Engineering and Surveying Consultants, and various members of the public in attendance, at which time Robert Travis announced the names of the bidders, the subject upon which the bids were submitted, the amounts of the bids, as well as the inclusion of a non-collusive statement, the bid form, and bid bonds or checks. And whereas the bids submitted at that time for heating system HVAC project were as follows: Southeast Mechanical Corporation base bid $878,000, alternate $879,000. LJ Capola Incorporated $978,500, alternate $970,000, and De Giusseri Mechanical Incorporated $1,039,000, alternate was $10,450. Whereas subsequent to the submission of subbids, the bids were reviewed by Morris Associates, the engineering firm retained by the Town of Amenia with respect to design, plan, and specification for the heating system HVAC project, and a report was made to the town board by Morris Associates, whereas the town board has given due consideration to the bids submitted for the heating system HVAC project, and a report issued by Morris Associates to the town board. Now therefore be it resolved that after review and due consideration of all the foregoing, the town board hereby, 1, accepts the base bid of Southeast Mechanical Corporation of 568 North Main Street, Brewster, New York, 10509, the lowest responsible bidder for the heating system HVAC project in the amount of $878,000. 2, and awards the contract for the heating system HVAC project to Southeast Mechanical Corporation, subject to the proper execution of the contract, return of 4 complete executed copies of the contract to the town attorney, Denise Fitzpatrick, Esquire, 43 Bennett Common Way, Millbrook, New York, 12545. with a complete copy provided to the town's retained engineer, Morris Associates Engineering and Surveying Consultants, PLLC, 9 Elks Lane, Poughkeepsie, New York, 845-454-3411, together with 1, performance bond insurance certificate as required by said contract, 2, certificates of insurance as required by said contract, 3, comprehensive schedule, C, comprehensive schedule, D, list of all manpower types and equipment to be used on the project, E, and further specifications outlined by the town's retained engineer, Morris Associates, in its notice of award provided to said contractor. All of the same to be submitted within 14 days from the date of the notice of award provided by Morris Engineers to Southeast Mechanical Corporation. 3, upon approval of the town attorney and the town's retained engineering firm, Morris Associates, of such contract as executed by Southeast Mechanical Corporation, of all the required submissions therein, authorizes the town supervisor, Victoria Perotti, to execute said contract on behalf of the town board of the town of Amenia. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
No.
Councilman Delango is noted as absent. Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Okay, Resolution 31. Resolution accepting bid of and awarding contract for Town of Amenia Town Hall Heating System Replacement Project, Contract B, electrical construction, to Stilsing Electric Incorporated, the lowest responsible bidder. Whereas the Town of Amenia caused a legal notice entitled Notice to Contractor Soliciting Bids for the Town of Amenia Town Hall Heating System Replacement Project, Contract B, electrical construction, to be published in the Millerton News, the town's official newspaper, on May 5, 2016, and the Poughkeepsie Journal on April 26, 2016, on the Empire BidNet website on April 28, 2016, in the form annexed hereto as Exhibit A, whereas the town further caused a copy of said legal notice to be posted on the town's official town clerk bulletin board located in the town of Amenia Town Hall, 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York, on April 26, 2016, whereas sealed bids submitted in response to said legal notice for the heating system electrical construction project were opened at the Amenia Town Hall, May 23, 2016, in the presence of the Deputy Town Clerk Nancy Luther, Robert Travis of Morris Associates Engineering and Surveying Consultants, PLLC, and various members of the public in attendance, at which time Robert Travis announced the names of the bidders, the subject upon which the bids were submitted, and the amounts of the bids, as well as the inclusion of a non-collusive statement, the bid form, and bid bonds or checks. Whereas the bids submitted at the time for the heating system electrical construction project were as follows. Stilson Electric Incorporated, amount $41,022. Osterhout Electric Incorporated, $64,550. Black Electric Incorporated, $88,500. R&R Security Services Incorporated, $110,500. Whereas subsequent to the submission of such bids, the bids were reviewed by Morris Associates, the engineering firm retained by the town of Amenia, with respect to design, plan, and specifications for the heating system electrical construction project, and a report was made to the town board by Morris Associates. Whereas the town board has given due consideration to the bids submitted for the heating system electrical construction project, and the report issued by Morris Associates to the town board. Now therefore, to be it resolved that after review and due consideration of all of the foregoing, the town board hereby, 1, accepts the bid of Stilsing Electric Incorporated, 500 South Street, Post Office Box 27, Rensselaer, New York 12144, the lowest responsible bidder for the heating system electrical construction project, in the amount of $41,022. 2, awards the contract for the heating system electrical construction project to Stilson Electric Incorporated, subject to the proper execution of the contract, return of 4 complete executed copies of the contract to the town attorney, Denise M. Fitzpatrick, Esquire, 43 Bennett Common Way, Millbrook, New York, 12545, with a complete copy provided to the town's retained engineer, Morris Associates Engineering and Surveying Consultants, PLLC, 9 Elks Lane, Poughkeepsie, New York, 845-454-3411. Together give A, performance bond insurance certificate as required by said contract. B, certificates of insurance as required by said contract. C, comprehensive schedule. D, list of all manpower types and equipment to be used on the project. E, further specifications outlined by the town's retained engineer, Morris Associates, in the notice of award provided to said contractor. All of the same to be submitted within 14 days from the date of the notice of award provided by Morris Associates to Stilsing Electric Incorporated. 3, upon approval by the town attorney and the town's retained engineering firm, Morris Associates, of such contract as executed by Stilsing Electric Incorporated, and all of the required submissions therein, authorizes Town Supervisor Victoria Perotti to execute said contract on behalf of the town board and the town of Amenia. Your motion?
They should make a motion, that motion.
Second?
Second it?
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
No.
Councilman Delango is absent, and Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Okay, and we have a bid from Air Environmental Consulting to do the air monitoring for the asbestos remediation project of $3,580. Since this is professional services, there's no need to get any other bids. This company was the company that gave us did the original report of the asbestos for the heating system project. Make a motion that we accept the $3,580 bid for our air monitoring service so we can start the asbestos removal project.
Discussion? Quick.
I need a
Excuse
second
me.
first. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, no discussion.
Sorry, just a quick question. Is there any way to request that they amend this proposal to put some cap, given that it is straight time and materials and there's no upper limit on this? I think we have time for that. It would be a simple change just to say, you know, upward of 25% of this estimate, we would stop time and material billing and just...
Sure, I don't, yeah, I don't see that's a problem because I don't think he's gonna, you know, there may be 1 or 2 more air samples to take, but the air samples are relatively cheap. They're,
So that would be reasonable to put the cap on it? Because I can amend my motion to add that.
yeah, I mean, if you did 20%, that's what, $600? I mean, that's the max. I mean, that's more than enough if you want to
Okay,
do that.
so I amend my
It'd be fine.
motion to add the cap of 25%.
And I'll second
25 or 20?
What?
20%.
20 or 20, well, you said 25, yeah? Or 20?
20% is fine.
20% is fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Second that.
Councilman Delango is absent. Councilman Gutierrez?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilwoman Doyle? And Supervisor Perotti?
Aye. Okay, Marco wants to,
Thank you very much. Have a good
Oh,
night.
thank you
So
very
I will
much.
send all that stuff out tomorrow. We'll get all the paperwork going, and we're on our
I'll be
way.
here.
We're on our way. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we need to award a hydrant bid. Marco has been looking at the hydrants, and there are 3 broken hydrants that need to be replaced. There are 2 on Railroad Avenue and 1 on Broadway. And he got 3 estimates for the hydrant. The work will actually be done by by him and the highway department crew. So we have 3 quotes. Villano's is $7,147.66. Carmel Windwater. Is there a total in here?
That's the second page. It's on the reverse.
But there's 2 amounts, right?
Turn the page.
Bid total
Oh, I'm sorry.
7,147.
$7,059. And expanded supply products. Looks like there's not a total.
Yeah, I can add it for you.
7527.99.
So we have $75,27.99. Looks like the low bid is Carmel Windwater
Yep.
at $7,059. Make a motion that we accept the low bid of Carmel Windwater for 3 hydrants to replace broken ones.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
And Delangel's absent.
Okay, we were supposed, under other matters, we were supposed to have a public hearing tonight, but because of the Memorial Day holiday, it wasn't noticed for the full 10 days. So I'm just going to table this to June 16th, where we'll publish another notice.
Yeah, we'll have to do the resolution.
To do we'll do another resolution
To publish it.
to publish it. And that was the public hearing to correct the meets and bounds in the soil mining overlay district. Okay, the other matters I have, speaking with CDOR, we needed to change the way some of the money in the budget was recorded. And I also needed to take money out of contingency for legals because we had spent all we had between the bond resolution and our bidding legal notices, and all the legal notices we've gone over the line. This is what, 32?
Yes.
Transfer of funds for June 2016, whereas the town board has the authority to transfer funds when necessary and unanticipated to amend the budget, whereas budget amendment for the general fund increasing new expense line 6310.2 Community Action Kitchen by $15,000 and increasing new revenue line 2705 donations to record the $15,000 donation by the Recreation Commission in 2015 to be funded by increasing the 2016 appropriated fund balance account 599 by $15,000. CDOR has recommended that the donation transferred to the general fund in 2015 be recorded in the 2016 budget this way. Whereas budget amendment for the general fund decreasing expense 19004.01.049 contingency by $3,000 and increase expense 16704.01.061 central print mail legals in the amount of $3,000 for unanticipated expenses for bond resolution and bidding legal notices. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board authorizes the transfer of necessary budget lines to process the transactions. Can I make the motion?
I'll second it.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Delangel's absent.
Okay, are there any town board comment or public comment? No town board comments? No town board comments?
I would just mention that in addition to all the community activities that are going on in the community, I believe the 11th is our preview party. I could be wrong. I think the preview party for the Wasaig project, their exhibits for the summer is, I believe, the 11th, and it'll be very good to see a bunch of people turn out for that. And it's a really wonderful time to celebrate all the wonderful things that the Wasaig project and the summer festival brings to Wasaig, the activities. It kicks off a whole season of totally amazing activities that they provide, mostly free of charge. Preview party is
It is on the 11th.
on the 11th, Saturday, 5 to 8 p.m. Tickets are a bit pricey, but they are for a good cause. They help make these programs work all year long. So contact Wasaig Project if you want to do that, wasaigproject.org. You can buy tickets online still. Thanks.
And if you want to support the Wasaig project and are unable to attend, you can also send a donation. Okay, if there are no more town board comments, I'd like to make a motion to go
I have
into...
a comment
Oh, I'm sorry.
regarding the heating system. I was disappointed, highly disappointed with the board to go with an oil-based system. We tried to bring in a greener system into our building, one that did not lock us into oil pricing, which has a tendency to skyrocket when we can least afford it. And that is why I voted against this project, because I don't believe that what ended up happening is what should have happened. And that is my comment. Thank you.
And for what it's worth, I actually agree with you. My understanding was that we had to get something in place because the current system could not be rehabbed enough to get us through the winter. But if you'd like to work with me, I'm still doing a little research on solar energy alternatives. There's one program where if we can find funding for solar panels on the roof, any town property could share in the electricity bill. So even if we have multiple meters at different buildings, there's a way to spread what you generate across multiple properties. So I'd be happy to.
Yeah, we did go
Get some help.
with an oil system. However, there will be energy savings going from steam to the hydronic.
And I would mention that alternative energy always requires you, it seems to me, to have the backup oil-fired system or another backup. The geothermal estimate was over $1 million, and they required you to have a oil fire burner as well. So $2 million is just as much as I wanted to see alternative energy being utilized here at the town hall. It's out of our economic feasibility from the research that we were able to do, but I agree that further research to someday have the oil burners as a backup system and use alternative energy when we can. Solar would be great. I also think that we need to continue looking at the landfill, that there are potential opportunities to utilize landfills for providing alternative electricity for the town. Also, did everybody have a chance to review the minutes that were provided by our town clerk? And if so, I would make a motion that we approve the minutes of Thursday, May 5th, 2016,
With the correction?
with the correction. No,
That was
another one.
April.
Oh, the other one, okay.
Yeah, the gold
The gold one has been corrected on everybody's copy.
golf.
So which one are you approving?
May 5th, 2016.
Can you do them individually?
Yeah,
Okay.
since not everybody's at all these meetings, I guess.
Sorry, Vicki, did you make that motion?
I made the motion that we accept Thursday, May 5th, 2016 minutes as presented.
Second that?
Councilman Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger,
Aye.
Councilwoman Doyle, and
Yes.
Supervisor Purdy.
Yes.
I'll move that we approve the town board meeting minutes of Thursday, April 21st, 2016 as presented.
That's what, with the corrections, right? The two?
Well, that's going to be April 7th.
Sorry.
I know, they're just not in order. I don't know.
Sorry, I was flipping through them randomly.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay. Councilman Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger,
Aye.
Councilwoman Doyle,
Yes.
and Supervisor Purdy.
Yes.
I move that we accept the minutes of Monday, May 9th, 2016, Town Board's special meeting of the Town Board.
Second that?
Councilman Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger,
Aye.
Councilwoman Doyle,
Aye.
and Supervisor Purdy.
Abstain?
The 23rd you do not approve, so you can just, the bid opening don't
Right.
require approvals. So then you have April 7th.
I move that we accept the minutes of Thursday, April 7th, 2016 with the two
You can't.
changes.
I move that we accept the minutes of April 7th
Oh,
Yeah, you can't. 'cause
says
you
I'm
weren't
here.
with
It says I was here.
with the two
Oh,
corrections
absent, sorry about that.
That's
Okay.
as
I-
indicated.
Second that?
That's why we put you as absent.
Initialed my edits.
Did you like the goal?
I'll abstain.
Well, Councilman Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger.
Yes.
Doyle is
Abstain.
abstaining. And Supervisor Purdy.
Yes.
So next meeting, you'll have the May and tonight's.
Is there anything else?
Did you announce the Passaic Fire Commissioners meeting?
I did not.
Yeah,
Do you-
there's,
The Wassaic Fire District, Board of Fire Commissioners at this time is accepting applications for the open seat on the board. There is one member that's moved out of the district, thus he's had to, since then, resign. So the Wassaic Fire Board of Commissioners is accepting applications. You must be a resident of the Wassaic Fire District, and your letter of interest can be sent to the Wassaic Board of Fire Commissioners, and it's due July 14th, and their PO box, is that what you're?
I'm pulling it up. Keep talking.
Okay, so you're gonna be sending it to their PO box in Wassaic, New York.
P.O. Box 176, Wassaic, New York 12592. The board will review all applicants and appoint one person to fill the vacated seat. Letter of interest must be received by July 14th, prior to the regular scheduled meeting. These are the people who make decisions in that district. We've seen how impactful this is. If you have any interest, please send through a letter of interest to the Board of Fire Commissioners. P.O. Box 176.
Thank you. I just can't remember the PO box. I wrote something, I just can't remember there.
Is there anything else? I make a motion that we go into executive session for discussions relating to proposed pending or current litigation. The town clerk is excused.
Second.
8:13.